Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Get Sports Strong podcast. Gonna do this real quick. Thank you so much for joining in. Make sure to follow Get Sports Strong on Facebook and Twitter, and Bet Sports Strong on Captain.com. And I briefly will get into March Madness a little bit later. I want to talk about is I just want to talk about the World Baseball Classic. I'm not sure how many people out there have been watching the World Baseball Classic, especially in the United States. But I've really enjoyed this tournament. There's been a lot of talk about the tournament before it started, about whether or not it's a good idea, players risking injury. And I've noticed a lot of people, a lot of writers, have been trying to downplay it from the United States perspective, saying, well, our best players aren't playing. And that's not true. Okay. Mike Trout's not playing, Clayton Kershaw's not playing, but this team is still loaded. And there's really an obsession with, and no disrespect here, because I think Mike Trout is a great player. If he's available number one in my fantasy baseball draft this year, there's a good chance that I'll take him number one. I definitely took him with my first pick last year. But, when it comes to WAR, he's been the top player in the major leagues, but I still feel like it's debatable. Into the playoffs one time. He's a great player. I'm not going to knock him. And you can't really compare spring training stats because I don't think spring training stats mean anything. But if you want to look at this World Baseball Classic, and what guys are doing this early in the year in meaningful games, Mike Trout has 3 stolen bases. He's hitting .273, 3 RBIs, no home runs. That's basically 9 for 33 in the spring. So, he's probably working on stuff. It doesn't really matter in the spring. His stats are decent. But when you look at this World Baseball Classic, it's really been exciting. You could tell the guys who want to be there really want to be there. And that catch that Adam Jones made the other day, robbing his teammate Manny Machado of a home run. That there, if you didn't hear it, that was an amazing catch. And as great as Mike Trout is, the Team U.S. win or lose is not going to be because of that. Mike Trout hasn't, his teams haven't really had a lot of success, even though he's a great player. And this Team USA is still loaded. Giancarlo Stanton hit one of the hardest balls I've ever seen. So this World Baseball Classic to me has really been great. Now we've got tonight. This is on Monday. We have March 20th. We've got Puerto Rico playing the Netherlands. And then we've got the United States and Japan playing each other tomorrow. Right now, as far as wagering purposes, I like Puerto Rico and I like the United States. I really do. Puerto Rico's 6-0. They've outscored their opponents 51-15 in those 6 games. They beat the United States. Twice. Venezuela. They beat the United States once. I do apologize. Puerto Rico, they beat the United States once. They beat the Dominican Republic. They beat Venezuela twice. And the Netherlands, they're 4-2. They've had a very good run as well. But I like Puerto Rico. Money line Puerto Rico right now is about 151. And if you take Puerto Rico to win by more than a run, they're at plus 113. I do like Puerto Rico to win by more than a run. But it should be a good game. If you want to be safe, take the money line. But obviously anything can happen in this World Baseball Classic, but I really like Puerto Rico's chances to win the game, and I actually expect it to be a high-scoring game. Puerto Rico is expected to start Jorge Lopez. You're looking at 2 starting pitchers without a whole lot of major league experience. He's 24 years old. He's only pitched 10 innings at the major league level, and that was 2015. And possibly Netherlands at this moment, they haven't officially announced the starter, but there's a chance that Rick Vanderherk could be starting. He hasn't pitched in the major league since 2012, and in the World Baseball Classic, he's made 2 starts so far. He's 1-0 with a 6.43 ERA. With that Puerto Rican lineup, I don't think that the Netherlands pitching staff is going to be able to hold it back. But there's still both sides. I mean, there's a lot of star power on both teams here. And if you're a baseball fan anyway, even a casual baseball fan, I strongly recommend watching the World Baseball Classic, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. It's really some of the best baseball you're going to see, especially this early in the season. You're not going to see games this intense. You got Team USA. They're playing Japan tomorrow. Team USA is a underdog at the moment, plus 123 at the moment, and I like the U.S. in that game too. Now, I mean, Japan, they're tough, so obviously I understand why the U.S. is an underdog, but I think the U.S. has got at least a 50-50 chance, and I really think that the U.S. is inspired. I think that they're going to win. I think we're looking at a Puerto Rico United States rematch in the championship, and that should be very entertaining. So I'm recommending taking Puerto Rico and taking the United States tomorrow night. Another thing that I really, really love about this World Baseball Classic is the passion that you're seeing played in these games. I mean, Puerto Rico was doing some bat flipping. I mean, these guys are really amped up, and I know I love baseball. I love Major League Baseball. But you notice in Major League Baseball, a lot of times, guys, they reserve their emotions. They keep things in check because you have all these unwritten rules. I mean, all these old school rules about you don't show up your opponent, you don't show too much emotion, and it's kind of I mean, I hate to say this, but it's almost kind of like the like an old school 1940s, 1950s, old school white way to play the game. And these younger guys, you can tell that these younger guys, all races, these younger guys want to play the game differently. And when you look at these other countries, I mean Dominican and Puerto Rico, they really, they're into this. They're really celebrating. You look at the Japanese team. There's a lot of passion that these other cultures have that they don't get to display in the major leagues. They have to hold it back a little bit. And I love how much you can tell these guys on all teams want to win. Even the United States, I mean, you can tell that these guys really want to win. They seem to be more into the game than they are with in a regular major league season game, especially early in the season. They really are able to show their passion, and it's just great early season baseball. So that's my prediction for the final. Go ahead and take Puerto Rico, and the U.S. will see what happens there. And then I'm expecting in a regular major league season game, especially early in the season, they really are able to show their passion, and it's just great early season baseball. So that's my prediction for the final. Go ahead and take Puerto Rico, and the U.S. will see what happens there. And then I'm expecting a final on Wednesday. I'm not going to make a. If I had to predict a winner for the whole final, obviously I'm cheering for. Well, I shouldn't say obviously, but just to be completely honest, I would love to see Team USA win this. I did put a plus 250 wager on them before the tournament started, but right now, obviously, Team Puerto Rico, I'd say has to be the favorite to win this thing. Just to predict, I think Puerto Rico right now is going to win this tournament, but I'm hoping the U.S. does. But got love for all the teams. It's really. Now, briefly, I know this is what a lot of people, especially the United States, have a big interest in, and I'm sure the majority of people have been following this harder than the World Baseball Classic, even though both are great tournaments. March Madness, we got our Sweet 16, and a lot of upsets. I'll say that I'm pretty much done. In my personal pool out of 40 people, I'm actually number one right now, believe it or not. I don't know how. I'm not saying that I'm doing good. Maybe that's just more of a judgment on the rest of my bracket. However, I'm done because current points, I'm number one out of 40. But when you look at projected points, I have no chance. And that's basically because I picked Villanova to win this thing. Not very good pick. So How many Sweet 16 teams do you have left? This is what I have correct, okay? I've got Florida. I've got Gonzaga. I've got Arizona. I have Xavier. I have UCLA. I have Butler. I have North Carolina. I have Michigan. I have Purdue. And I have Kansas. So, some of the big ones, of course, I had Villanova, like a lot of you. I had Duke in there. I didn't have Baylor because I had SMU. I had Notre Dame. I'm actually at Wichita State beating Kentucky. So I have 9 out of the 16 teams. As far as Final Four goes, I've got 3 out of 4, but the problem is I've got Villanova winning it. I had my Final Four as Arizona, Villanova, Kansas, and North Carolina, with Villanova beating Kansas in the national championship game. But on the other side, for those of you that have purchased a sports handicapping package and following my picks, I do have to brag about myself just a little bit. Okay, I'm 8-4 on the actual wagers that I have made, but I'm 7-1 on 10-unit bets. 7-1 on 10-unit bets. I'm 1-3 on 1-unit bets. And those were basically bets where, for the most part, I was making small wagers to get big payouts on moneyline underdogs. Let me explain. 3 of my losses have been 1-unit bets where I just took a moneyline play. Like, for example, Florida Gulf Coast was a plus 673 moneyline underdog. I put 1 unit on that, they lost. But I put 10 units on Florida Gulf Coast as a plus 12.5 point underdog in that one, basically making up for that. I took East Tennessee State as a plus 505 underdog, and UNC Wilmington as a plus 303 underdog, just to, took the chances there with the 1 unit, and it didn't pay off. Now, as far as my wins, I had Wichita State plus 3.5 over Kentucky. That's a win. I had Arizona minus 4.5 over St. Mary's. That's a win. I had Northwestern plus 11 against Gonzaga. That's a win. I had Northern Kentucky plus 20 against Kentucky. That's a win. I had Michigan minus 2.5 against Oklahoma State. That 3 at the buzzer, a lot of people were upset with that. That was a loss. Michigan won 92-91. So that was a loss. Then I had Michigan just 1 unit, so I'm not going to brag too much about that. But they beat Oklahoma State. That was a win. And then I had Northwestern over Vanderbilt. Money line, that was even 100. That was a win. And in the NIT, I actually had Akron and Houston in that very, very first NIT game over 145. Akron and Houston in that very, very first NIT game over 145.5, and that was a win. Akron won 78-75. So, check that out. Just one little plug here, and I hate to make it about that, but $20 a week, $74.99 for a month's worth of all access picks. But go ahead, go to captain.com. You can subscribe, 14-day free trial. 14-day free trial, captain.com, or email me at betsportstrong.com. Go to, or betsportstrong@gmail.com, betsportstrong. We'll take you to my site along with Get Sports Strong. We'll take you to the same site there. Free 14-day trial. Just email me or sign up on captain.com. You can also purchase packages. Go to sportswatchmonitor.com, see how I'm doing. Look at the March Madness picks. Right now, your boys only made 12 picks, but I'm number 7 in total units won out of 82 handicappers. So, I'm looking for that number 1 spot. You guys check me out, Facebook and Twitter. Thank you so much for listening. Got to keep it short and get out of here. Everybody, you have a great day, and